So moving right along, I'm just going to tell a little real-life anecdote about some corporate entertainment I was on the receiving end of for once. When I was head of marketing at 1-800-Flowers.com, I was buying out-of-home advertising and a lot of other media. And my sales rep at a New York company, which was called TDI, Transportation Displays Incorporated at the time, they had the rights to all the bus advertising in New York City, so, mostly the bus exteriors. They had some bulletins, which are big signs and really high traffic spots at the tunnels and the bridges, and other things in other markets. And my rep there, I just given them some business, and they had a reputation for really doing elaborate and nice entertainment of clients. And so I asked him, my wife at the time, my ex-wife now, loved tennis and the U.S. Open. So I asked my rep, Steve, I can't remember his last name right now, I'm sorry to say, whether he could score me some tickets to the U.S. Open, which normally is here in New York. It's played in Queens in its own stadium, Arthur Ashe Stadium, and other venues there at the end of September, which is right around her birthday. And he said, I think I can get you something for tonight. I think I can get you the tickets to the corporate box, where they're serving dinner and sushi, and, the fancier clients get to go with their wives or husbands or whatever the case may be. And but if you hang on, I think I might be able to do better than that. And I go, well, okay. So at about, 4:30 or 5 o'clock, he says, I scored you 2 courtside tickets. You're in the second row on the court, and it's like the best seats. Serena Williams is playing. This is like an early match before she had really just taken over the whole industry. And I said, whoa. So I tell my wife at the time, Susan, and I think we might have probably drove out there and parked our car and went to our seats. Now, so here's the U.S. Open. Now, one reason it was, and here's the stadium where the big matches are played. And those are the corporate boxes right there. So, by the way, the U.S. Open is the biggest New York City corporate entertainment event of the year. It's bigger than any football game or baseball game or anything. Even though it's not a long season, it goes on for a little over a week. There's still more money spent and more taxes collected by New York City for the U.S. Open than any other sporting event. So those are the corporate boxes you see, right? You got private seating, and then sort of behind where the seating is, there's a room, okay, which is where the food and the booze and everything is. But actually, Steve got us seats like right there in the second row, just about center court. And my ex-wife was like, whoa, we walked down there, like, I can't believe we're walking down through all these things and we get these seats right here. It's like, wow, this is cool. I feel cool. I feel cool that I could provide this to my wife and everything. Now, before too long, one guy kind of straggled down the steps wearing a gray pinstripe suit and kind of skinny, had a glass of something in his hand. And he walked down, took a seat right in front of me in the first row. And that guy was Keith Richards, who is one of the top 2 guys in the Rolling Stones, which I don't know if you guys have heard of. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. That's a fairly recent picture of Keith, and that's his wife, Patty Hansen, who was a successful model, and I assume she still does that. She came down and sat next to him. And then before too long, somebody else came down to talk to Keith, and then Keith actually moved and sat on the steps so this guy could sit next to him. And the guy sitting next to him who wanted to talk to him right in front of me was John McEnroe, who is, in addition to having been an amazing tennis player, and he still is for his age, and he's probably he is the best tennis commentator that I've ever heard. He's always doing the commentating in the U.S. Open. So he came down. He's in his T-shirt or whatever, and he's talking to Keith Richards. And actually, John McEnroe's wife, I know her. She's in a rock band, and he plays guitar, and so he really likes rock. And so for him to talk to Keith Richards, pretty cool. So, so there I am, New York night. The stars are coming out with my wife at the time, with Keith Richards and his wife, Patty Hansen, and John McEnroe right in front of me, watching Serena Williams in her early days play. And just to, finish the pictures of all the important people there, that's my ex-wife. That's a more recent picture of Susan. That's taken pretty recently. And there's an older one of me, just sort of a funny looking one. So there we all were. This is called really effective corporate entertainment. I mean, to give someone like me, the client, an evening like this with my wife, making me look like a hero and a VIP for once in my life was pretty amazing and very effective on Steve's part. Not that I would do anything, to throw him business he shouldn't have had, but boy, he sure had my ear. Let's just put it that way. By the way, here's Keith Richards in the early Rolling Stones. This is really early. There he is, and he is the lead guitarist and writes pretty much all the music for the Rolling Stones. And more recently, there they are. And Keith Richards is this guy on the right. So he's had a pretty amazing life. So, and just to wrap up on the U.S. Open, I just been hearing about the fact that the indoor training center and a lot of the other things at the stadiums out there are being converted to hospitals to help out with the coronavirus problem. So there we go. Now, we're going to shift gears now a little bit, and we're going to talk about CRM software platforms. And as I said before, ACT was the first that I was aware of, and it was not web-enabled. As you can see here from Wikipedia, it was launched in 1986. And it was like, it was just like running Excel or Word or something on your computer. I mean, you just couldn't do anything with the web, add content or add links or anything like that to it. It was just its own kind of thing, and kind of an entity within itself in a company that you would enter information. And so it really was not a, web-connected, web-enabled, web-powered database. And different people bought it or did different things, but basically it's pretty much almost dead now because, and here's our B2B, one of our lessons, you've got to keep improving your product and keep up to date and beyond up to date if you want to stay as the leader. You can't just be satisfied. Oh, I have all this business and all these loyal clients. Oh, I'm fine. Somebody comes along and offers something significant, like a USP that means something to clients, and you don't have it and you can't match it. Goodbye. And so the leader now is undisputably Salesforce.com. It's based in San Francisco. CRM service, enterprise applications, doing a bunch of other stuff with the database. And it's supposedly a very good company to work for. I know the reputation is they pay their people very well over there. This is one of the Salesforce towers you're looking at here. I know there's one in San Francisco. There's also one in New York. So it's a B2B platform. It's for companies with sellers. I mean, it's for people that sell and contact clients and customers to enter information, which basically is the database, is the customer database for the company that they work for. It's for forecasting. It manages your CRM, a lot of other stuff. Let's see if this thing does anything. What is Salesforce? I hope it's not something we've already looked at. I guess we're going to their site. There we go. Okay, so there we go. So, okay, brings companies and customers together, gives all your departments, marketing, sales, commerce, and service, a single accounting, a single shared view of every customer. So there are some pages. I'm going to show you a couple of more screenshots of pages. Okay, personalizing marketing. Does that sound familiar, everyone? Knowing the customer's needs and concerns. Okay. 150,000 companies are growing their business with Salesforce. And here are a few coming up. They have core values, trust, customer success, innovation, equality. So and they're ready to chat with me. So they're going right away here. So you can watch demos of Salesforce, etc., but we're not going to do that today. Okay, so a little visit to their site, and we're going to look at, as I said before, a couple of screenshots and things. So I'm just going to leave the site now. Okay, and then of course it's going to put me back here, which I don't really want. So let me click this off, and we're back here. Okay. Cloud computing company. Yep. Okay. Headquarters San Francisco. Okay. Now, 2016, it did go public. We'll look at the stock value in a minute. Market cap of 55 billion. I'm not sure what it is now. It's at least that much. There's the guy, one of the founders of Salesforce and the CEO. His name is Mark Benioff. Billionaire, multi-billionaire, of course, living in the Bay Area. He bought Time magazine a couple of years ago, similar to Jeff Bezos buying the Washington Post, I think you could say, because Time magazine is a famous piece of journalism. I mean, been around for a long time. It's an esteemed brand name. Obviously, it's in print now. I actually subscribe to the print edition. They still have good writers. It gives you more of an analysis of the news and kind of interpretation and analysis of the news in long text articles. There's the Salesforce Tower in New York. It's right at 6th Avenue and 42nd Street on the, so it's not too far from FIT. On the southwest corner is the Salesforce Tower in New York City. Here's some stuff about, it's not the actual stock price, it's percent change versus the average of all the stocks in the U.S., the Standard and Poor 500. And you can see that Salesforce is, in the blue there, is gone up a lot more than all the other stocks, all the average of other stocks. This is from 2010 to 2018. And this is a little more recent. The symbol for the stock is CRM. And it trades on the New York Stock Exchange, NYSE. And this is for the last, was it the last day or something? I mean, yeah, so you see what the stock is trading at. Very successful company, really dominates the platform. Here are a couple of screenshots. As I'm saying here in the text, it's set up to capture the complexity and multi-level nature of corporate decision-making. It has fields for corporate and personal info. Now, if you look closely at this, what the heck are we looking at here? It's basically salespeople sit down at their desk or at their home desk these days and enter basic information about clients, about the company, about the people at the company, etc. Now, this is information about a company. The account owner at Salesforce is Samantha Reddy, okay? Samantha Eagerly Reddy. There's the account name, Pyramid Construction. You see it's got its unique number, right? The way we always want to have in our database. You see the industry is construction. Now, there should be an SIC code probably there to be really smart. There's the billing address of the company. This is who created the record, Samantha Friendly. There's the corporate phone, the corporate fax, corporate website. There's their ticker symbol. This is how many employees they have. There's a shipping address too. And last modified by. So, but again, you can set up, any company can set up, lots of different fields in Salesforce. You see the navigation and the horizontal navigation in the middle of the page, which has, you can enter contacts at the company. You can, enter activities. There's all kinds of things you can enter that'll fold under the company. So I'm going to stop here and pick up when we go to the next page.